I Top Billin. You guys know that I love for my channel to be a getaway to where I 100% deal with stuff that goes on between those white lines, breaking down the nuances of the game, personnel, scheme, concepts, and stuff like that. However, man, I have to particularly get on this issue right here, just for the simple fact that, man, I love Iowa since I was a little kid. I love Midwest ball, Nebraska. That's all those teams in the Midwest, man, would be Ohio State. This is the stuff that I grew up on, right? Just a certain style of football out there that attracted me when I was a little kid. And I've watched Iowa for a long time. Coach Ferentz and those guys did a great job out there, or still doing a great job out there with the style of play and kind of evolving that, but still keeping that physicality in the game. But I have zero tolerance for bullshit-ass race issues and the type of shit that I'm hearing coming out of Iowa, man. And I don't see how these guys really can survive something like this, right? You got guys coming out left and right, the latest being Akron Wadley. Y'all remember him, number 25, the running back. Dude was fast as hell. He said something to the effect that, here it is right here. Wadley on Monday reiterated his claims that Brian Ferentz, Kirk's son, on several occasions jokingly asked him if he was on his way to commit a robbery when Wadley was leaving the practice football field while wearing a team-issued wool hat that covered his face in cold weather. Like that type of shit, I don't like that type of shit, man. I don't know. I just don't see how you survive that with some of the allegations that have come out with Iowa, especially in the climate that we're in and the climate that we should always be in. But with that being said, man, I think it's time for my man, my favorite coach in all of college football. If y'all follow my career, y'all know this. I'm a huge Bret Bielema fan. I think it's time to bring him back home. He would be perfect to take over for the Ferentzes. His style of play, of course, if we're talking about what he did at Wisconsin, I might want to skip over. I'm not going to skip over Arkansas, man. I love what he did at Arkansas, and I had a great time covering Arkansas, man. I was about to be a superstar out there covering that man in Arkansas. A lot of my first in the business came through covering him in Arkansas. And, man, I think that's the guy right there, man. I think if they were to make a move, I want to put this out there right now. Bret Bielema is perfect. Bring him back home. Obviously, he played at the University of Iowa, and he coached there as well. Was co-defensive coordinator before he left and went to Wisconsin to be a sole defensive coordinator, and then eventually took over the job from Barry Alvarez and did his thing at Wisconsin. The style of play, the amount of players that he put in the NFL, especially we're talking about offensive and defensive linemen, some of the best players in the NFL currently, J.J. Watt and these guys. Of course, Russell Wilson, Rob Havenstein, and all these guys he put in the league, man. So we know the guy can coach his ass off, and he would be a perfect fit. I don't think Bret Bielema gets down with the type of stuff that the Ferentzes clearly get down with. And I think he's the type to kind of unify some people. But moreover than that, from a football standpoint, the guy is a great judge of talent as far as coaches go. Think about all the guys that he's had, whether it be at Arkansas, Wisconsin, that have gone on to become coaches, or people have just completely rated him, right? Everybody wanted his offensive coordinator, Dan Enos. Georgia took both his offensive coordinator, took his offensive line coach, Sam Pittman. Jim Chaney, guy he had rocking there, he kind of got away from himself, I believe, when he did part ways with Jim Chaney, or they mutually parted ways or whatever like that when Jim Chaney went to Pittsburgh. But you know what I mean? And even the running backs coach, Joel Thomas, I think his name is, went to the Saints. Just the guy just understands football. He's a football guy. He's one of the guys. The reason why I like him a lot, because I feel like he's a guy that could be an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. I feel like he's that well-rounded of a coach. And if you just hear him, he's one of those guys that just talks ball, like a Jimbo Fisher type. Like you can just tell he eats and sleeps ball. He knows the game in and out. He understands how to be a CEO. He understands how to delegate roles, and I just love his style of play. So I think he would be a good replacement, man, if they were to do something with Coach Ferentz. Obviously, I don't hold a crystal ball in this. I don't know what Iowa's about. Coach Ferentz probably has a lot of, not probably, he obviously has a lot of clout there. He's a legend. Maybe he does survive something like this. But if he doesn't, this is the man for the job right here. It should be nobody else. It should be this man. I don't want to hear nobody else outside of Coach Bielema talked about for a replacement for Coach Ferentz. It should be Bret Bielema, hands down, all right? So let me know what you guys think about that. Tell me what you know about Coach B. And tell me what you think about that particular situation in general, all right? But But as always, man, it's your boy Murph, the Underground King. Let's get back to it, though.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.